That doesn't mean anything. Maybe there's a problem with its actual definition, and different stuff should be called different things. But you'll
Mm-hmm.
find Muslims of all varieties. I don't exactly know what a normal Muslim is. I've met people of all different backgrounds and ideologies and perspectives, and all of them, by definition, are Muslim. So, like, you can't say that one is normal and one is not. It just is. It's a thing that is. There's it's not negative or positive. It just exists. So, and again, maybe that's a
And what do you
conversation
mean?
for a
Wait,
different
what do
day.
you mean?
I mean
What he
that.
means is Osama bin Laden is a Muslim just as much as Muhammad Ali is a Muslim. Like you can't like say
Yeah,
Osama bin
they are
Laden is
Muslim
not a
at the end of the
Muslim.
day, yeah. But
No,
Like
I just don't think,
I'll make
yeah.
it less personal. I'll make it less personal. Hitler is as much as a Christian as Jesus was a
Yeah,
Christian.
exactly. This is my point,
But that
basically. Like, yeah.
you could
all right.
argue, like a lot of
Now it's
people
getting,
will
now it's
argue.
getting spicy. Now this is the spicy part
No,
of
it's
your.
not getting
But
No, I
spicy.
like
I'm
it. No, I
agreeing
like
with
it.
them.
No,
But
What's
this
the
is
wrong
thing
with
is,
you?
no. This
I
is
but the,
I
Oh
am
my God, Khashoggi.
I'm actually
Yeah.
one of you might find this surprising, but I do not like have a very like broad view of Islam. Like illuminationism exists, right? There's many different like schools of Islam, like Ishmaelism, illuminationism, all these different sects. So you can't just completely like uh just box in Islam
Yeah.
into one
what
whole.
what we
But we can't like ignore, radical extremists in our region. They're the ones
Yeah,
who have caused.
extremists are basically the problem, yeah.
but
Mhm.
there
And
is
everywhere.
there is extremists in an Islamic
Yeah.
But
I have a
it's
big
not
issue with
extremists with
Islamism.
to
Yeah, yeah.
to put
As a
this in like
Muslim.
a back to Zoroastrianism, why like someone might think negatively of like Muslims, right? Like Muslims have made us ride donkeys until like Reza Shah became king. Even like moderate Muslim kings, they still made us ride donkeys. We couldn't shop in the rain. We had to pay jizya. We like had our women like forcibly marry Muslims. Um, there was a lot of atrocities that have been
Yeah,
committed by it.
unfortunately, yeah.
So like
what he's referring to
people
about the
just don't. People
when
just sorry.
so guys, we
People
gotta we
don't.
gotta get. Go ahead, Ashad. I want you to finish. We got some other hands we gotta get
You
to.
know,
I'm sorry, guys. This is
people
go
don't
ahead.
just wake up. With these views, and I think like in order to understand why Iranians think this way, you just have to be Iranian. Really, you just have to experience what it's like to be Iranian and like have your family members like raped and robbed in the name of like everything that Iran's government does. They put the Quran down and they say like this is why like we are doing this. So like whether it's
It's
right or
they
wrong,
disgusting, to be
literally they
honest. Like,
literally
yeah.
they rape women in prisons if they're gonna execute them in case they're virgins so they don't go to heaven. That's what happens in Iran. So
Yeah.
it
I don't know who muted everybody, but okay. So we're gonna move on to some other hands. By the way, guys,
Basically, they're like
I
bad. Yeah.
so
It's not
by the
Islam. This is my point.
by the way, I'm really proud of you guys. I'm
it
sorry
is Islam. One aspect
if
of Islam.
if I
It
say
is
no.
not
It
Islam.
is. It's one aspect. You can't deny. It's one
Dude, there is
aspect.
nothing
I
in
think editor
Quran
should
that
be
Just
says
muted
because
and we should
racism.
you're
forcefully
What
Islam,
the
continue.
fuck?
just
All
because
right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
doesn't mean it's not Islam. You can't get a free pass. I'm sorry.
Come on, Zorzi, be a
it is
dictator.
not. It is
Yeah,
not that
okay, okay. One
Islam
Let
that
second,
you
Dr.
okay,
follow.
Regina
guys,
speak.
I don't want to. I'm not going to press the mute all button. Everyone gets pissed off when you do that. I'm really proud of you guys, by the way. The reason I'm like doing parental controls, I've been in these situations. We're talking about controversial stuff. You guys have carried yourself beautifully. Now we're going to get on to other hands, and we're going to have these discussions. Mead, you had your hand up, and then Dr. Regina, and we're going to have more of these discussions, guys. So, but you guys carried yourself beautifully. Thank you. Go ahead, Mead.
Yeah, a few things. So first, regarding the Pahlavi celebration, I just want to mention that a lot of people think that that was a big cause of the revolution. I think that's like a midwit take, but I just also want to add that I think actually he did not spend enough. I think he should have spent more on that event. That's my take. And then secondly, regarding the thing, and then regarding the destruction of idols that Malak said, like regular Muslims don't believe in, it just takes 5 seconds to go on Islam QA and find like 15 different hadiths that require the destruction of all idols.
Can I
Like you
answer?
see this everywhere. No, you can't, because it's like the facts. Okay,
Okay.
there are so many different ones that say this. It is just like I could read them out to
But
you, but I
those
don't feel like
Okay,
it.
idols
I
aren't
feel
being
going to be
worshipped
something.
now.
we're gonna get so. By the way, I want Khosrow, I want you to
Why
like
did they
bookmark. Malak,
destroy the
Malak.
idols that are like in so many different countries that are Muslim? Like,
Well, if they are still worshipped, then who cares? Like, does that mean they could be destroyed? I don't know. Like, does it matter? Even if they are still
Here
worshipped.
we go.
So there's
So
that.
here's the thing.
And then last.
Here's the
Yeah, go
Khosrow,
ahead.
bookmark that question. Khosrow's going to answer this. Bookmark that question. I want to move on to Dr. Regina real quick, and then Khosrow, I want you to respond to what he said, and then Dr. Regina, go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you.
What is the question?
So I think, for like what I've noticed as like a third person observing the conversation between Malak and Khosrow is that I think in both of your minds you have a certain definition of Islam. I think Khosrow, I think both of you just need to be like clear about what you mean by Islam and what Islam means to you. And the fact of the matter is that because like religions are interpreted in so many different ways, Islam means different things for different people, the same way other religions mean different things to, different people who claim themselves as followers of that religion. So, Malak, to you, like, those things, those aspects, those negative aspects of Islam that Khosrow is talking about may not be a part of your understanding or your definition of, or like how you believe in your faith of Islam. But I think Khosrow in his mind, like, will correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like Khosrow has a different definition and different perception of the word Islam. Is that, is that?
So Dr. Regina, my only actually, I'm not even, what I'm saying isn't even too far different from what you're saying right now. What I'm saying is that Islam just is. It is a thing. It is a religion with its own rules, ahkam, whatever. It has its own stuff,
Yeah,
and then it has followers. Its followers can choose to do different things.
that's right.
My main point was when Islam goes into politics, which in a Middle Eastern context always does. That being said, I also acknowledge that there's different types of Islamism. Like the Vilayat Faqih Shia Islamism of Iran is very different than a Wahhabi Islamism of Arabia. It's different from like a Muslim Brotherhood, like leftist. Like
they're all
I,
But
I
bad.
even I even I
you are
acknowledge that as
comparing
well.
to like polar opposites. Like I just want to mention, like I just want to keep that in
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
that those are two like examples of each religion, but it's just like, oh sorry,
exactly,
of Islam, but like they're both polar opposites. And I think
exactly.
most people who identify as Muslim don't actually fall into those categories. They probably fall somewhere in the middle with moderate,
Yeah.
beliefs in terms of like maintaining morals and like having faith in, in the oneness of God and, all of that. So I think the political issues that come as a result of bringing religion into politics and into government is separate to the individual, like, citizen believing in like in Islam or whatever religion it is and practicing it and like having that faith and believing in the morals and stuff that come with it. I
Yeah.
think
That
that's
was
what
So,
Malik is trying to say.
So Khosrow, I
and
want you to
I,
respond to this, and Malak, I want you to respond. Obviously, she's calling you by name. So Khosrow, go
yeah.
ahead. Malak, go ahead.
So I don't disagree. I think that's correct. But I think where it comes down to is what we're talking about right now is philosophy versus religion. So you can identify as Muslim, you can philosophically be Muslim as whatever you determine that is. If you think that these hadith are sahih or not, if you think that this part I'm gonna do, that part I'm not gonna do, I don't know a single Muslim that actually follows how it's supposed to be followed in the sense that, like, okay, you're not supposed to drink, but you're drinking, but you won't eat pork. You're not supposed to be having sex, but you're having sex. But like, there's that's
Yeah,
on an
I think,
individual
but
level.
I
I
think,
don't care about that. I don't care about the individual philosophy level because at the end of the day, it is completely subjective and it is completely up to you. You have freedom to live however you like and to identify as however you like. What I'm saying, the point I was like, I don't care about that individual level of it. What I care about is that when it comes to the realm of politics, which again, like in the Middle East, where it's Muslim majority countries, it does most often, or even if you wanted to put all the Middle East, just Iran, okay? You can't separate the fact that a lot of the stuff that we have now is a result of Islamic law and jurisprudence as understood by the grand majority of
Right.
people, right?
But
So
those Islamic, I think those Islamic laws, again, like the same way that like some Muslims like interpret the religion to believe in the things that make sense to them morally. I think what like politics and what like governments do is they interpret parts of Islam and use it to their benefit,
Exactly. This
based
is
on
my point. Yeah.
what they think and what they believe, and they claim that as being Islam, and then
It is
people
just a
think that
tool.
okay, this
Yeah.
is.
So Malek, it's your turn to respond to this. Go
can
ahead.
I say
Yeah,
something
yeah, I'm
very
agreeing
quickly?
with Dr. Regina. Yeah, you can go on.
All right,
That's
sorry.
right.
I just want to say this very
Yeah,
quickly.
it's okay.
Like I don't even disagree with Dr. Regina, but it's like regardless of that, that is what is being performed.
Yeah, that
Do you know
is
what I
what's
mean?
happening.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
that
I know what you
that is
mean.
what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
There's a fraction of reality here that's outside of like philosophical thought, and it's like okay, literally there is what's called gashte irshad, like literal morality police that ensures Islamic Sharia law is being performed. So it's like yeah, you go out, they'll ask you, are you non-mahram? Are you related to this person or not? When you go to court as a woman, you have a different stance than you have as a man. These are just the realities that happen. And in a country where its laws are secular and not based on Islamic jurisprudence, that's a different story. It could have a Muslim majority population, but that won't matter.
Yeah.
But in
Well,
a
I
country,
feel
when
like
it comes,
Go ahead, Malek. Go ahead.
sorry, he can continue talking.
No, I think you finished. Khosrow, did you finish up there? If you have
yeah,
anything else.
you guys can continue. Yeah, I don't want
So
to.
yeah, I do understand. Like I didn't live in Iran. I understand how bad it is there.
By the way, but preface this: people don't know you, Malek. Where are you from? Where are you living right now? And then go ahead.
I'm from Bahrain. Okay, so here it's like you can do whatever you want. It's very like liberal, secular, whatever, you know. And I support that. I feel like religion shouldn't get involved. Like you should, like how do I say this? Oh my god, I'm so tired, guys. It's like 5 a.m.
Religion and politics should be separate.
Like separate religion.
Yeah. I'm half asleep. I'm sorry. Um, so yeah, um, it's like because from what we see, and Khosrow agrees with me on that. Uh, like whenever they use Islam, they just use it in a really, really bad way, as a tool to just, as Dr. Regina has already mentioned. They
And it's,
just, yeah.
sorry, Malek, I was just gonna say, like,
Continue. Yeah.
it's also worth noting that Islam is not the only religion that uses or interprets the
Yeah, this is
rules
my
to
point
apply it
too.
to
They
government
can use any
to
religion,
oppress
literally.
and, exert power over the people in that country.
So Malek, if you have anything else, I want you to
No,
finish.
I'm done. I'm done.
So Shahram, I want you to get your shoes on. By the way, guys, like I said again, you guys did
Okay.
a bad job. We're gonna keep having these conversations. We're gonna keep it in bounds. Shahram, go ahead.
So like tying this back to Zoroastrianism. Look, like you guys can like blame whatever, you guys can blame governments, interpretations or whatnot, but Zoroastrians literally have a entirely different language called Zoroastrian Dari because of Muslims. They literally had to hide their traditions from Muslims. They literally had a fake fire just in case a Muslim would come into our fire temple and put it out. So for me, you guys saying all this stuff, being like, oh, this isn't real, this isn't, it's like Islam is some like hippy dippy religion where we can all like, you know, grab each other's hands and sing kumbaya together. No, that's bullshit. Like,
We're
I'm
not saying
sorry.
it's not real. No, we're not. I'm not like at no
Like,
point was I
you
saying that
guys,
you're like that
like
our
you guys,
experiences of like Iranians being oppressed
Like the
because of the
history,
Islamic
yeah.
government.
but
At
I
no
agree.
point are we
I'm
It's
not
not
saying
going
that
just
to
not.
that's
deny
not
that, yeah,
real.
the
This is
Like,
caliphate or
throughout
whatever, they've
history.
done some really messed up stuff. I'm not going to deny the history part,
It's
like of
not just the
how,
Islamic Republic, though.
yeah.
It's like the entire history of
Yeah,
like
I'm
Look at
not
the
Islamic
denying
look at the
this.
Persia.
Taliban.
Yeah.
Look at the
but again,
Taliban.
Unfortunately, it did happen.
the fact of the matter is that again, like we're bringing it down to like at the end of the day, it's individuals inflicting pain on other individuals. Like it, like
No, it's
when
systemic. It's not individual. It's systemic.
no,
That's the
but
whole
the
thing about what
system is
he's
made
saying.
up of individuals. The system is made up of
So then
individual
who?
people.
you can't no, you guys can't get a pass on this. You can't just keep saying this
That's
every
shirk.
time. Like from the beginning that Islam has come into Iran, it's been like suppressing minorities. Like you wouldn't understand this because you are Muslim, so you're not a minority from Iran. Like we've had to go through this always. When you look at Iran's history, always had to somehow live in secret and hiding in fear, not because even of the government, but because of the Islamic ideology itself that is unaccepting of others.
No, but we're not saying you,
They
like, we're not
hung.
saying you didn't have those experiences
We're
or
not
that they're
disagreeing,
invalid
yeah.
in any way. Like, we're not
We're not
disagreeing with
invalidating,
your
yeah, of
experiences
course.
in any way. We're just saying that people, like, people use whatever, like, set of rules that, like, you know, a group of people believe in and manipulate it and interpret it to oppress other groups of people. Now, we're not saying that it's not because Islam, we're not saying that it's not because Islam exists that those things are happening, but we're just saying that these are some things to think about as well and to consider as well when formulating your opinion and thought and perception of like the different religions and like what people practice and, you know, how they decide to live their life.
I think
Right.
look,
So
I
Can they give
respect
K?
the fact.
yeah,